Oh, wrong one.
Do.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mist, gorillas in the midst.
welcome back to another Folk in Scotland. And yeah, I shouldn't
Don't
really
touch
touch these.
anything.
No, I shouldn't touch these.
So much for the fucking heat wave.
It was
I
forecast.
looked at my little cootie cutters.
It was forecast for 20 degrees today.
Fuck all.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Don't understand
Yesterday was pish.
it. It was shit. I was actually cold yesterday.
I was like, fuck this. I blame Lorraine Kelly.
We never got the... Don't. We've got to keep her on side. I want her on the show.
Oh, that's unlikely.
I know, but...
That's very unlikely.
I'm going to start with
okay.
a public announcement.
Okay.
Well, it's just a little bit of help. And it's
They
just
call
in
it
case...
They call it housekeeping.
Is that what it is? It's just in
Podcasters call it
case
housekeeping.
someone has... I had, or still have, occipital neuralgia.
Uh-huh.
And it's just in case anyone has it. That's all I'll say.
Uh-huh.
But I tried to describe the exercise to help with it, but I couldn't. So I'm going to show it. Okay?
This isn't you taking your breaks doing, is it?
No, not this time. So what you do,
Mhm.
you sit upright, as upright as you can.
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
not-
join
No,
me in
I'm
this.
not going to be doing this.
Okay? And you keep your head straight,
Straight as a
chin up,
straight as an arrow.
nose
Okay.
straight,
Uh-huh.
right? And then take palm
Uh-huh.
and touch your head
Uh-huh.
and push, not bend your head forward, push your whole body into it until you feel a little bit of pressure on your neck.
Uh-huh.
Now, it's not an exercise. It's
No.
not like the more you do, the better
That's
it
like
is.
cracking your fingers, but for your neck.
It's kind of the
Uh-huh,
same
it's good.
because your nerves go through a little bit
A little tube.
and it releases
little
them.
tube. Uh-huh. A nerve tube.
If you go too far, it pushes the other side.
Okay.
Defeats the whole point.
Okay.
It's not an exercise. And very gently hold for about 30 seconds,
Uh-huh.
release, and just keep doing that, and you'll be surprised it can
It's best
really...
not to hold anything of yours for 30
Not for
seconds.
30 seconds.
A lot can happen.
It's way beyond the 5-second rule.
Oh, yeah.
But that can help. So if anyone has any issues with that,
well,
can-
that's niche.
there's a point to it. But
Uh-huh.
and then the next thing,
Uh-huh.
I took my life in my hands and I
Uh-huh.
went to Lidl in Lochee.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
All I
It's
needed
very quiet.
was
shop.
milk.
It's a great shop to go. It's never busy.
Never busy, but I just needed milk.
Uh-huh.
A simple request.
Uh-huh.
As I go to the back to the milk, there's a guy in the middle of the aisle
Uh-huh.
with his crappy old crack screen iPhone just watching porn. And there's no sound, but he's just standing, quite intent. Not an erection or anything, just looking.
Just browsing.
Just watching. And he's watching through the whole scene. I think there was a taxi involved from what I could see. And he's just watching this. And he's quite intent. And people were going, for fuck's sake. I think it happens quite a bit. From the way that people were reacting. They're just like...
Why is it? Was it a Kent face somebody you'd seen around?
No.
I saw the guy
not
the
at all.
other day. He was spinning the plates. He had the bit of bamboo and he would spin plates.
I know.
He's an evil looking little cunt. When you see him, you want to murder him.
He's essentially harmless, but...
No, he
I
pulled
was-
a knife on somebody.
Did he?
He was breaking into sheds.
Well, I'm very aware of him because
Oh,
he
he's
used
hot,
to be
vile.
across from my house,
Okay.
essentially. And I went across to see Susan one day. I
Uh-huh.
had to drop keys off or something.
Yeah.
Boring.
It's like feeding
Turned
a
around.
lion. It's like feeding a
And we
lion.
were both talking and we just looked
Uh-huh.
and he pissed himself.
Uh-huh.
It was on the ground. He got up and then the smell, he shat himself as well.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And there was no words. We just stood there like a couple of plums.
Jesus Christ.
Just because I had to wait till he went because I wasn't going near him
Uh-huh.
to get out. But he moved away from that area.
Well, he's
He was
back. He's back.
in that particular area.
He's back.
Oh,
'cause I
that's
saw
not
him
good
the other
news.
day,
That's not
yeah,
good news.
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
God.
it's just people don't realise how brutal it all is. Just the Dundee.
That was him I told you
scene.
about. He was sitting there drunk, and a guy came up on a bike saying, "How are you doing?" He says, "I'll worry about you." And I thought, "Oh, it must be someone that knows him, an old friend or a neighbour or something.
Aye.
You know what it's like. Do you want to buy this bike?" And he went, "No, I don't need a bike." He goes, "Now come on, I know you get good fucking money." And the vibe had changed.
Yes.
And suddenly this guy, instead of asking him, was a predatory, scary
That
guy.
people do not realise
It's like, oh,
it's Dickensian. That is the
It's
relationship.
horrible.
There's no good humour and friendship amongst the kind of homeless junkie population in Dundee. The most lowly person is being bullied by the one just above him.
That's
And
well, that's what
everyone
I've
is
seen.
exploiting.
It's
But there's
horrible.
a guy in Dundee that goes about with a fucking dog, and he's the press if I could have lost his dog. We've spoken this before.
The fucking he hires it out.
He hires out his dog to
hires
people,
and I'm laughing, but I don't find it funny.
and he
is
is
horrible.
Him and his partner, who I
Yeah.
think left because he's mad. They have some kind of doss house in Dundee, so
Right.
he has people staying with him. So he'll be exploiting. It's exploitative.
It's
But
it's what I see.
the horror of it is nobody cares. So nobody's getting involved.
Mhm.
It's adults. So when I first came to Dundee, I told you, I was walking along Perth Road and I turned to the street the Dundee Rep is. And in a wee lane, there was some old school alky guys sat there
Okay.
drinking like fucking Mad Dog 2020 or something.
Oh, I could imagine.
Old vat, old vat. And there's a younger lassie with him, and she goes to the guy, "Can I have a drink of that?" And he goes,
Could I
"Nah."
apologise? I just answered on a podcast with a nod to
Oh,
you.
that's okay.
I'll say yes next
Yes.
time.
And he goes, "Yeah, for a kiss," and she snogged him. A young lassie snogged this old derelict, and I thought, "Fucking, I'm not in Kansas anymore."
Oh my god.
Now I'd been living in Glasgow prior to that.
Oh, but Dundee's it's unique. It's unique.
There was
It's
a
place
thing
unto
on-
itself.
There was a thing on which the internet makes you annoyed sometimes, but I watched a thing in America, and it was the working poor,
Mm-hmm.
and it's people who all live in their cars.
Oh right, okay.
And it's got to a stage, there's so many people. So this is basically folk who've had good jobs,
Mm-hmm.
bank managers, IT consultants, who have had maybe a stroke
Yeah.
or some kind of divorce, and there's no safety net, so they end up in their car. And it's got to such a stage, charities have set up stations for them. So they live in their cars,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like porta cabins where they can cook and have coffee, and there's like places they can charge phones, there's toilets and shower facilities. It's like a homeless encampment.
Well, have you seen? Is it the Apple headquarters?
Yeah.
The people were living in the car park
Right.
and working in the Apple headquarters, so they put up toilets and showers for them.
Yeah.
And they're saying, no, but this is a choice. And it's like, no, they can't afford to live
They
in a
can't
house in the
afford-
area. It's
You're,
simple
you're
as
a
that.
ball here. But what's fascinating is they were interviewing them, and this is people that thought they had a very low opinion of homeless people, and then they
Yeah.
became homeless.
And it's
It
like-
gets madder still.
Oh, God.
I think it was Alabama or
It's
something.
depressing me.
There is no health care.
Mhm.
Right, so you can't afford it. And I think 24 million Americans have no access to
Okay.
health care.
That's.
So they do
Jesus.
a thing where it's like an aerodrome or something, a big park,
Mhm.
and they set up fucking tents. It looks like a disaster zone. Give
Right,
it coming out
okay.
an earthquake. It's dental treatment and medical treatment. And people camp up overnight to show up in the morning to get free health care. So there's people who are their teeth are so bad that's killing them.
Right.
There's people, they had this woman in, Trump supporting woman, nothing. And she came in, all her teeth removed and a set of false teeth done in 2 hours. An hour. And you're thinking, but they all think, oh, this is, America's wonderful. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I
You're
don't
relying
think
on
we
utter
know
cha-
how lucky we are.
We don't. This country has a
We
lot
have
of
no
problems.
idea.
A lot of problems.
My mother yesterday
Yeah.
went up to see about her eyes, and the surgeon says, you've got a couple of cataracts, we're going to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
them out.
That's as
She
common
says,
as it.
unfortunately, it's quite a long waiting
Yeah.
list. You're going to be about 4 months.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
we're
for
so
example,
lucky
everyone
here.
knows
We're so lucky.
everyone knows somebody that's had a hip replacement.
Yeah,
In America, your mother would not have
it's
had
just
it.
a standard
You're
thing here.
You're not getting it done. How much would that operation cost? 10 grand?
God,
Or
more.
More.
And it's just
I say
standard.
they say a set getting teeth removed and a set of false teeth is like 2,000.
You know what? It's we talk about America a lot because that's all we see on the news.
Yeah,
This is,
yeah.
It's barely news of Scotland and mainly America.
Yeah,
And see, being there, America is so good.
yeah.
But this one area. But
Well,
I was
guns.
around people
Guns,
who
guns and healthcare is a
the
problem.
gun's a problem. But I was around people who didn't have a penny to their name, couldn't afford healthcare,
Mhm.
but said they still didn't want this
Socialism.
socialism or whatever. They didn't want it. And you're like,
That's
but
quite a number they've played on people.
it's a big scam.
It's quite a
and then-
number.
But I knew a girl, not a penny to her name, her kid needed surgery. There was a huge issue with it. And she was like, I don't want that. Why would I want? And then the argument that was always given to me. So you go up to the hospital and imagine someone's taken in front of you and they're a paedophile. And I heard this from 10 people. And I went, but that's nothing to do with me.
That's a propaganda.
It's a triage. It's there's nothing to do. They're not a court. They're nothing.
Yeah.
You go in and whoever needs the treatment gets it. And they're like, oh, I see the way you think. And I'm like, what? What are you getting from that apart from what's on the surface? But that's it's protect the billionaires because one day I might be one.
It's American exceptionalism. But I think the thing is, that works if everyone's getting a slice of the pie.
Yeah, but
if everybody has opportunities, that's fine. If everybody
where I was in Kansas, I've never seen poverty like
opportunities.
And I've never seen a more hard-working people.
Grafting.
And they really care for their families.
Yes.
It's not like here where you have a burn and you chuck it in a bag and in the tay. No. They very family orientated. I don't have kids. I don't know anything about kids, but I really appreciate it.
Well, you have a fair idea.
I've got an idea what a child is.
It's like a person, but smaller.
I'm not too sure.
Pretty much.
I'll have to look at a book.
Yeah.
But very family orientated. There was a lot more positive.
Maybe
than here.
Maybe you're forced to be more family orientated because you require your family to fucking look after you.
That's a big part of it. That is.
If you're old and you've not kept your family close, how the fuck you get your medical bills? No, you know what I mean.
Well, I suppose
poverty. People back in the day in Scotland, the king had this thing. Everybody's door was open and all helped each other because nobody had anything. You needed your neighbours. Now you don't need your neighbours.
I'm going to say something, and people are going to get really mad. But I would say, in general, it was better being in America than it was here. In general, apart from the two flaws that you've mentioned, because the first night there, our house was shot at.
Yeah. That's a big thing. My house has never been shot at.
It was a shotgun, and it had
that's going
holes
down
in the wall.
It's not.
First night in America.
The dream is not what it was. And I worry about this country as well. There seems to be... Has America got less red tape, maybe? Is it easier to set yourself up?
Well, here's something that I found.
Yeah.
You could sort of buy to rent or in a mortgage. Now, I don't know if I'm getting this exactly right. But if you can't afford it, you just walk away.
Right.
In this country, to let our international listeners know,
there's no walking away.
There's no walking away. You can walk away from your house, but you still owe the mortgage.
Still owe the, yeah.
So you can be paying the rest of your life for something you're not in.
Yeah.
And this happens to people all the time.
Yeah.
And in America, you go, I can't pay this anymore. You walk away.
I watched but there's two.
Well, where I was, I don't know if that goes everywhere. I might be wrong.
There's an MP on the TV this morning, and they said, say a junior doctor gets paid 35-40 grand a year, and an MP gets paid 85 grand a year. And they said to him, do you think you're worth more than a junior doctor? And he said, I'm not the one who judges how much I'm worth.
You see?
You fucking son of a bitch.
You piece of shit.
But it's not the 85 grand a year that's a problem. It's all the sundries, shall we say. The cheapest pint in London, the fucking second home you're paying for. We know there's fucking Dundee MPs who have a second home in London.
Oh, this is the way it goes.
This is madness.
Look, I was seeing that a junior doctor's getting like £14 an hour in a place where you can't live on that wage.
So much.
And I pay, I make nothing. I could just, despite the way I dress, everyone thinks I'm a millionaire. I get
trillionaire, mate.
But when I pay someone, I start at £20 an hour.
It's okay. Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's wild.
If I can do that, and I can. When I pay someone, I can pay £20 an hour. And I profit from that.
But you pay. My thing is, you pay. I may be just stupid, but you pay people money. It's not Scrooge McDuck. You don't take your extra money and just put it in a room.
Yeah.
You spend the money. The money just swirls around all the time.
And the more money it goes into the system, the better it is when you start taking it out. And
there's a lot of people who have no chance. You see, in Dundee, they're having a problem just now with young kids who are like on the rampage.
Yes.
And you do think, God, they think things are so bleak. You're like, why not? They're like, what's the point? Okay, the jobs are shite. The AI is about to replace me.
This happens.
I'm never going at home.
Yeah.
There we go. Come on, I mean?
I kind of get it.
Well, even
kinda
the army's
understand
been
it.
going to be droned soon, so they can't even get jobs as squaddy.
Squaddy.
I watched the most Scottish thing the other day.
Oh,
It just made me chuckle. I'm going to have to look the guy up.
right.
There's a guy called Paul Merton. Not Paul Merton, but Paul Merton. You know the guy I mean? He's always
don't.
grand tours of the Scottish lochs.
I do know. Yeah.
His latest one is grand tours of the Scottish rivers. So he's
Okay.
down in the border country. Weird people on the border.
Oh, they are.
All that strange. They're all on horseback all the time. And,
Very odd.
Strange.
Very odd.
but he goes to this castle. It was a jail.
Oh.
And he's going about. It's no Berwick. It's like someone in these places. And he's going about. And
Coldstream, that area. Yeah.
And he's going about, and he speaks to the woman who's in charge of the place, and she says, it's a lovely thought because there's so much history there. You'd like to think there might be supernatural stuff. It's a nice story.
Right.
So he gets in a local paranormal expert. So this dovey kind of bald-headed guy appears, and he's wearing like specs that are a high prescription, so his eyes are just
Oh, they're
googly.
made of glass. They're not plastic.
Oh,
yeah.
no,
Proper
made of
glass.
thick glass. And he's going about and giving him his expertise. And he says, and I believe I've got a piece of ghost hunting equipment. And he goes, and he brings out this thing. Fuck knows what it's called. But it's one of those things that just randomly cycles through the radio. You can radio signals to hear a voice. And Martin goes to the guy. So he says, that's wonderful. Does this thing work? And the guy goes, no.
Just nah.
He's a paranormal expert. He's like, no, it doesn't work. So they switched it on, and everything he asked them says, that's interesting. So they switched it on, and it immediately spoke to them.
Of course.
And the two of them are like that. What the fuck? You know? And then it said something again, and then they all tottered off. But just for you wouldn't get an American expert saying, now does this work? 100%.
100%.
Scottish guy, no.
Nah, doesn't work. Shite. Got it off at eBay.
It's absolute shite. I'm gonna have to look this guy up. I'll look him up. Right, I hope he's got a Twitter account. He's an older guy.
Now the world is sort of opening again and stuff like that, right?
He's opening up like a flower.
Right. And talking about America,
Chickens are being let out of their
I would
their
like to
barns
go
again.
back to America.
Would you? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what's got it in my head, but I was looking at places like Portland and Washington, and then all the way, because I've never been the West Coast.
Don't go LA. I think LA looks absolute.
It looks
shit.
terrible, but there's other places,
You'll end up. Where's Rogan land? Austin.
Oh, Texas.
They're all in
I
Austin.
haven't been to Texas.
It's like that. It's all those kind of podcast. Here's us doing a podcast. All the podcast comedian guys, Tom Segura and Bert.
I've got some information for you. It's going to shock you.
Yeah.
Tom Segura. He just turned 44.
Fuck.
Yeah, just 2 days ago. He just turned. Now I'm going to say it again. 44
Jesus
years old.
Christ, he looks
I thought he was 57.
Jesus, he's lost a bit of beef.
Since did you see the video of him falling?
No.
Right, a couple of years ago. I don't think even that. He's playing basketball and he slips. And on Family Guy, when they draw them when they fall and they're all bent, he lands the same way. His arm bends in an L shape backwards and his leg's the same. It's horrific, but also very funny.
But they've become these kind of, they all smoke cigars.
This smoking cigar fucking
What is
bullshit.
that? What is that?
It's like a little, we were talking about the last time, ant colonies.
Yeah.
And ant colonies use these little pheromones that go through. That's the pheromone. They're all speaking to each other.
But he seemingly, I saw a clip of him, maybe out of context, but people were writing to him saying, you're always boasting about, your big house in the car. And his attitude was, fuck you, look. I mean, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to buy this and that. And you think, what exactly do you fucking do? Because they're all wank. Have you heard comedians when they start wanking on about the comedic process? And that Bert Kreischer's like that. Comedians have different brains from other people. They're like superior.
And he's an idiot.
Well, his dad's he was a well-off kid. His dad was a big lawyer. He's a tennis player.
What's it?
They're all.
There's a National Lampoon's something party animal film,
Right.
and it was Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
It's about him.
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds played him.
Oh, but Joe Rogan's opened a comedy club.
Oh, have you seen it?
So they're all, and now Segura, who's had fucking some terrible guests on, but Segura was just him and his wife were like, You know the thing about Joe, he's such a great
He's
Joe
not a
Rogan's-
good comedian.
If you're saying he's a funny comedian, you're a fucking imbecile.
Yes.
And it's like he just knows comedy.
It's like he doesn't. He humps his stool
Yeah.
and he does really crappy jokes. There's great comics out there.
Yeah.
But
I'll be watching.
Have you-
Who's the guy out of Bill and Ted's? The old geezer.
George Carlin,
He's a good comedian.
isn't he
Now
wonderful?
that's a good
And I
comedian.
liked that not only in his later life, he'd done all these political stuff.
Yeah.
He does great jokes.
Yeah.
But he done very silly,
Yeah. No.
silly,
No,
stupid
he's a
jokes.
good guy.
I like
he's
that.
good.
Now, the mothership. Joe Rogan's
A
all about
comedy mothership, is that what it's called?
guns.
Yeah.
He's all about
Cigars.
freedom, cigars. Do what you want? I could take on anyone. You get you're not allowed phones. They're put in bags. You're not allowed phones in the place. If you need the phone, you get it. You take outside. You go back in. It's put in a bag. You can't use it. You go through a metal detector. You get checked for weapons. Then, right, you go inside and they tell you if you heckle, you're out and your photo's taken. But everyone who goes in's photo taken, so they know who not to let in again with face scanning technology, which he's all
Oh.
against until it's
Is
useful
this
for
all-
him.
Is this all designed for the perfect? It's for the comedian, not the
It's for the
audience.
comedian, not the audience, 100%.
It's like, you know that, who's the Florida governor? Very pro-gun.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Um,
Oh, yeah, is it DeSantis?
DeSantis.
DeSantis, is that the name? Yeah.
Very pro-gun.
I
Open
couldn't tell
carry.
you a politician
Yeah.
here, but I could tell
DeSantis. So very,
Yeah.
very pro-gun. At his rallies,
No
you're not allowed
guns.
guns.
This is Joe
You're
Rogan
like,
through
what
and
the
through.
fuck?
And they're watching us, they're scanning us, they're doing it. But we're going to use all that technology.
Does nobody say that
And do you
shit
know
to
what
him?
his standard answer was? Well, they do it in other places. Isn't that what the government says? Oh, this is standard everywhere else.
Oh, he's so
when
well-
Dundee does something ridiculous to the roads, they go, oh, this is what they do in Europe.
They
And it doesn't work there.
they all have to suck his cock. They're all kissing
they've
the
got
ring of
to.
that man.
They've
If he
got
does
to.
something scandalous that takes him down,
Mm-hmm.
they're in a lot of trouble, a lot of them, for a spell, till somebody else takes over the big dog. Man.
Despite Bobby Lee being Bobby Lee,
Bobby Lee's, I find,
he hasn't gone on the show.
No.
He hasn't done it for like 17 years or something. He's not.
he can be genuinely quite dangerous. You never
This
know
is
what
why
that
they're
man's going to
scared.
say.
They've been trying to cancel him. The
Yeah.
most recent one is where he had a 12-year-old prostitute.
Jesus Christ.
And he's going, and they said, but you've said this for years. And he had to do it on his show. He goes, it was on, and it's a very interesting story where he was on Opie and Anthony. And on the first show, he was out his depth. So halfway through the show, he walked out. He said,
Right.
I can't take this. So the next time he went back and he says, I'm going to be more dangerous. And he come out with this story.
Right.
And he's been saying it for years. He says, but now you can't say an extreme joke like that. And he
No.
regrets it. He says, I wish I never said it in the first place.
Yeah.
And then there's loads of other jokes in the way he acts, trying to kiss people and everything. He said, that's not him anymore.
No.
You've changed. And that is interesting. And you can hear it's a joke because he says the joke. And then
Sit camera.
what happens is he does it. But people who pick him up on it don't finish the joke.
Yeah.
Because then he was saved by, I think it was 300 American Marines. But they don't pick up on that. They only pick up on the one bit where she's 12 and then she starts crying. But then he keeps going anyway. It's a horrific, bad taste joke. But there's
Yeah.
no place for them now. And even he said he's grown out of that. He doesn't do jokes
No,
like
it
that
shocks
anymore.
you, yeah. It's all a bit.
Just to shock. He says that's the only way he could keep up. Now, if you go back and listen to old Opie and Anthony, or you listen to Howard Stern or something,
Well,
there's
Howard's-
no way on earth
Howard's-
any of that could
Howard
exist now.
Stern's changed his shtick now.
It-
He's very kind of tame.
Plus, he's like in his 70s. Things
Funny
change.
looking guy who
And
played
that's-
himself in the film as a
Now,
teenager.
I had no clue about Howard Stern.
No, he's not a guy over here.
You didn't. Nobody. We never got
Shock
his radio. We
jocks.
never got anything. The only time I heard about him was this film,
Yeah,
and I went to see it and went, "Oh, that's really good." So I got an interest in him.
yeah.
And then, but honestly,
He
it was
played himself as a teenager.
which I kind of like.
Remember that? What was the David Bowie film where he good Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence?
Yeah,
He plays himself as a school child.
I think
Sure.
that's just that's
That's a
amazing.
fucking wow.
I like if you're going to do a story,
Mhm.
if you're going to play yourself or anything, or someone's
Yeah.
going to do it, be silly.
Yeah.
I've not seen the Weird Al film, but apparently it's brilliant. It's
A
just
Weird Al
very
Al-
silly.
Yeah, yeah.
and
He's a very unusual guy.
I think he's really.
He does very strange things in his life. Does he not collect like harmoniums or something?
That's wonderful.
He does something really unusual.
Yeah, I think
It's a very unusual. You must be worth a bit of money.
Oh, a lot.
I think he's bald, isn't he?
Is he?
He wears a wig. Does he?
I don't
I'm not
know.
Sure.
I don't know, but he seems
Weird
to be
Al Yankovic.
a delightful person.
Yes,
quite
it's like
real.
Alice Cooper's supposed to be a delight as well.
Yeah, a bit
Yeah.
boring. But
Yeah.
you're not going to have an exciting day out with
like
Alice
golf.
Cooper.
No, just golf.
Golf and church.
Did you? You didn't watch a thing that was on in April Fool's Day? There was 2 trailers for TV shows, and I just assumed both of them were April Fools.
Right, what's
One
that?
of them was like, you get these hunted shows where celebrities or that try to get across the country without being caught.
Yeah.
There was one, but the difference was they were nude. And I thought, that's obvious.
Oh, I saw that on YouTube.
That's
It's-
obviously fake. No, it's real. They're nude.
Are you winding me up? Am
No,
I going to go and look for
Channel
this? Because I
4,
did see
no,
that.
Channel 4, they're nude. And they're trying to get about the country.
Oh.
Nude. And there's another one.
Isn't that an offence, though?
Yes. Well, remember that, the nude fucking hiker guy that was going
Yeah, but
about?
he had constant erection. He said
outside
it was
school.
He said it was like, finding north.
It's the wind. There's the guy. Who was the guy? I'm sure he's fucking off his Speedo Phil or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
Him that wears the Speedos and he does kids charity stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Seen this?
Remember him? It was always in the beans. Beat Mr. Bean.
Oh, right.
yeah.
Anyone, I think, who goes, the base their act on beans, you've got to, they're
No, he's still-
enjoying it.
He's still doing
They're
it.
enjoying
It's
it.
not based his acting beans. He dresses as a superhero, like a bean superhero. No, but there's another one which I saw 2 nights. I don't know if it was on last night.
Uh-huh.
It's a big fucking hangar down in England,
Right.
right?
Okay.
And they've set up like Big Brother,
Okay.
okay, with all these celebrities,
All
but
right.
it's in pitch darkness.
Oh, I've heard about this. They're having breakdowns and everything.
It's Chris Eubanks in there.
I don't think you should put him under pressure. He just lost his
This Chris
son
Eubank-
recently.
Gaza's in.
I don't think you should put him under pressure.
But
He's completely.
Well, Chris Eubank lost his son, but he has an emotion. But he doesn't like people swearing. So they're all in the dark, and all you can hear is Chris Eubank lecturing you. But Gaza's like sitting there, and they're wanting to. He says, "I'll tell you a sexy story," and they're all.
Oh,
obviously-
no.
And he goes, "Okay." He says, "I met Margaret Thatcher once." He said, and I embraced her. And he says, "I got so excited, I got an erection." And he said, "So I went to the toilet and masturbated."
You see,
He told that story.
that's not a sexy story. And
That's not sexy.
why would you say that? See, this is what happens if you're in complete darkness. It makes you go mental.
Yeah.
And you'll say
But you're
things
just-
about Margaret Thatcher.
You just see them like that. But what's fascinating is there's a comedian in with them who is blind.
Oh, wait a minute.
So he's got the advantage.
Yeah.
But it's well,
That's
he's
cheating.
But he's never been in the space any more than they have. But what's remarkable about it, Ken, have you ever try this at home, not when you're driving, but try and stand in somewhere, an open space, and try and walk with your eyes closed. See how many steps you
You
can
get
do.
about 2 steps,
I
and
can
your
do-
brain,
You can do 10.
your brain goes stop.
You can't. You think you're falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
So people in the darkness, they're all.
The
What's funny
fuck?
is Chris Eubank closes his eyes all the time. You're like, why? And when they all go to their beds, they put fucking eye things on. You're like, you're in pitch blackness. Never mind. But the blind guy doesn't
That
have.
can make you mad.
The blind guy doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So although he doesn't know the space, he kind of he's into it.
He's got a
He
confidence
goes.
to go and look,
It's
and he
really
knows what he's
interesting.
doing.
Just
But
how he
everyone
did-
else is walking like a broken toy soldier.
He very quickly
Yeah.
knew the layout. And what's fascinating, he was taking people to the toilet.
Right.
They had no idea how to get to the toilet. It's pitch darkness.
That's
And
amazing.
he was like leading them about. Really interesting. But just a
What the
Channel 4
fuck?
show. But can you imagine? 8 days they're in there in pitch darkness.
That can't be psychologically safe,
No.
especially when you've got quite vulnerable people. Because Chris Eubank, his son only died like a couple of years ago.
They
That's
famously did a show. I think it was the guy. Was it not? Who's that Scottish comedian that did In the Thick of It?
I don't know.
Italian Scottish dude. It doesn't matter. He did a show because
Oh, I know who you mean. Yeah.
He's a good guy. I like him. But he did a show. I think it was called
He-
the Blue Shed Show.
He wrote
Iannucci.
Armando
Iannucci.
yeah.
He did a show called the Blue Shed Show.
Right, okay.
So it was like people like Rusty Lee and fucking
Okay.
Cheggers and all that in this thing. And they did a reality show. But then they thought it was being filmed, but he didn't. He just destroyed it. So he's like, if a reality show's never filmed, did it ever exist?
Oh, that's art right there.
They're all
That's
giving
art.
it their all.
Do you remember
Aye.
an experimental comedy show called Big Train?
Big Train was wonderful.
You could not do that now.
Big Train was there was Big Train. It had the kind of cartoon bits.
You could not do
Ivor Dobsky.
it.
Ivor Dobsky.
Yeah, it's
The World Staring Competition.
it's so strange. There was one.
Was that in Big Train?
I'm not sure if it was, but I remember one bit in Big Train where a guy comes home and you know what? I'm not going to say what it was because you can't now. You can't even say what early evening comedy was.
There was
now.
Brass Eye.
Yeah, that was
But then
good.
Brass Eye then did a thing called Jam, which I don't think they'll ever
I've
show
never
again.
seen that.
In Jam, there's a famous one. There's a chap at his door,
Right.
and a woman comes to the door, and it's all the kind of well-known British kind of alternative comedians
Yeah.
and actors. And she says, "Hi, I've moved in next door." And he's like, "Oh, that's wonderful." She says, "Here to borrow sugar." And she's like, "Oh, great." And she says, "I know it's a bit forward. I found a lump." And he's like, "What?" She says, "I found a lump. Could you check?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't really think." She says, "Please, can I?" I'm in a new city and that. And he's like, "Okay." So he checks and he says, "No, I don't think there's anything." And then the police arrive. She's like, phoned the police and they went to his house. And there's another one which they'd never show again, where
That's very Big Train.
there's a cot death,
right.
and the woman gets the plumber round and she says, "Look, the doctors have said there's nothing they can do." And he says, and she says, "It's a job upstairs." And he's like, "What?" Goes upstairs and there's a dead baby. And she's like, "That, could you fix the baby?" And he's like, "I'm a plumber." She says, "It's surely something she can do." And he's like, "No, I really don't want to do that." He's like that. She's like, "We'll pay double." So he's like, "Okay." So he plumbs in the dead baby. So it's warm again.
Yeah.
It's wild. Now that was that was maybe 2000.
Right. That was
Never
very
a
Big Train and
chance
stuff. You'll never get stuff like
what
that
was the one?
again.
You know the one I mean? It was the World Staring
I
Competition.
can't remember it.
And it was this wild done animation. It was just really
There was
freaky.
one where a guy, I'll say what it was because we didn't do it. We're just
No, we
reporting the
didn't do it.
news. And he comes in, he goes, "I've just been assaulted."
Mm.
And his wife goes, "What happened? What happened?" Because these men, they grabbed me and assaulted me. They held me down. They're like, "Oh my God." She goes, "Let me see." So she starts pulling his trousers down and to look at his arse. And then they get all sexy and frisky and start having sex. And it's just, that's their wee turn on bit. And I laugh so fucking hard, right?
You'll never get
but
that.
you'll never get
Never get that.
that. Will never exist.
Channel 4, Channel 4, you can't do scripted stuff now like that.
Right.
But you can do reality. You can have Gaza saying he wanked off after getting touching Thatcher.
Oh, it comes on. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
different thing. But if you
But
write it down and play, they're like,
you've written this.
you'll
You've
never
written
get.
this.
But I remember
Who
that
was the
sketch.
guy that
Laughed
did
so
the guy
hard.
did Brass Eye? There's the one he did. He said, "This is not the British Isles; it's the paedophiles."
Oh,
And it's the one where the paedophile gets sent into space,
it's so
but they
good.
accidentally have put a 4-year-old boy in the capsule with them.
Yeah, with them.
Oh, there's a place to keep your children safe, and it's like a steel cabinet.
And it was a pedo house that was chasing kids down the street. There's a whole house.
Or he goes to have the paedophile in, and they say, like, you just abused my child. And the paedophile's like, "No, I don't find them attractive." And the father's like that. "Why not? What's wrong with them?" You're like, fucking hell.
Yeah, if anyone wants to see something quite amazing, Brass Eye,
You'll
Big
never
Train,
Jam.
try and
Jam.
get them on YouTube.
Yeah, you'll
It'll
think to
blow
yourself,
you away how
it's-
shocking it. And this wasn't on late. This was like 9 o'clock at the latest it started.
Yeah,
it was just,
yeah.
Just
No,
for,
Channel
it's for
4.
kids.
Channel 4 have always done some wild stuff.
It was really good. It was so bad.
Channel 4, you turn on Channel 4 in the morning, it's all just terrible American comedies.
Yeah, it's
like
just cheap. It's
I
just,
like Frasier, but King
it's
of
just-
Queens. But then after 10 o'clock at night, after 9.
it's madness.
Wow.
But the thing is with that, don't think that we watched that and went, "Oh, that's comedy." No, it was meant to be shocking at the time. You went, "What the
Yeah.
fuck?" It was great.
There's a very uncomfortable comedies. I do enjoy it. I think.
It's like there's a famous one, British one, where there's a girl. She's walking down the street, very pretty, very serious looking. And this guy blows his nose into a hanky and throws it on the ground. And she runs over, picks it up and licks it. Just oh, this is so good. And that's disgusting, but it's funny as
it's
fuck.
funny as fuck.
Because you remember it. It's you've
yeah.
got to. It's like when comedians or writers, they're doing stuff like that. it's all the same joke they're telling, just in different ways. And they know that there's inside jokes and there's outside jokes. And it changes all the time.
But British comedians are the worst for becoming establishment stooges.
They're always getting their knighthood.
Yeah, the Ben Elton on the TV the other morning. And he's such a fucking stooge. And he was going on about Thatcher again. You're thinking, but you're a multi-millionaire and your last thing you did was a Queen musical.
Right, exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
She died 20 years ago and he's still fighting her.
Aye.
It's like, Thatcher. It was all fake.
Yeah, Griff Rhys-Jones is so wealthy. It's fucking...
When you look at the young ones, they weren't laughing with the poor.
No.
They were laughing at them.
They were mocking. It's
mocking.
It's public school boys mocking poor people. The only one I like is Alexei Sale.
Yeah, but he was dangerous.
And he still is.
And he was real. He stuck to it.
Yeah, he's interesting.
He actually had political beliefs he stuck to for 50 years.
He's an interesting kind of guy. No, the rest of them just...
But he was a bit dangerous. That's why they even filmed on his own when he was doing his little monologues.
He's never in the stuff with them.
Never.
Nah.
Never. Just keep him over there. And I think there was a sort of, let's get some people like that. Let's get some more working class or whatever.
Public school people despise the working people. They just despise us.
It's like our current Prime Minister when that video of him saying, I'm friends with everyone. I'm friends with royalty, aristocracy, millionaires, working class. Well, not working class. And he just...
Well, he's in a bit of trouble again because it turns out his billionaire wife owns points in some bloody care home, children's place.
Uh-huh.
And you're like that, and there's just been some regulatory thing that's benefited her company.
Oh,
you're like...
It surprises me.
Whatever you think, we talked about old Nicola Sturgeon's Fall for Grace, which is just spiraling.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse and worse.
They found footage of her going, everything's fine. Oh, no. Hen.
She's in trouble.
She's in trouble,
There's going to be a court date.
She's actually in trouble. But the money you're talking about is teeny. And the money...
In many ways irrelevant.
Yeah.
Whether it's £100 or whatever.
No, but on the British government stakes, there's money going missing, which is vast, and nobody's resigned. Nobody's resigned over it.
And it's like that. We'll look to America and say, why are all these millionaires and billionaires becoming president? It's the exact... We've got a billionaire prime minister now. It's the same. It's all the same gang. We're all in the same.
Why would a man that's worth hundreds of millions want to be prime minister? He's not doing it for the wages.
Yeah.
Can 10 Downing Street is even living there?
It's just...
They had to change the national grid to heat his swimming pool. And folk are allowed...
We've got food bags.
Folk should be like that. This isn't happening.
Yeah.
And they say, but he's such an honourable man. You're like, no, he's not. You cannot...
Snivelling little shit.
And this isn't jealousy. I don't think you can be a billionaire and be a nice person.
Well, you can.
Can you?
Oh, now, hold on. There's a guy in... quite famous. He was made famous worldwide recently because he worked for Twitter.
Right.
And he's quite ill in a wheelchair and that.
Right.
And he asked Twitter, have I been sacked or not?
Right.
Right. They couldn't answer him.
Right.
So he contacted Elon Musk publicly and said, have I been sacked? Elon Musk went to town on him, saying lazy, doesn't do anything, what work do you do anyway? But Elon Musk is so stupid, he didn't realise that this guy actually sold his business to Twitter a few years ago because of his illness. He sold it at a lower, but it's made him so wealthy.
Right.
Unbelievably wealthy.
Right.
Right? But a part of the provision was he couldn't be sacked. So publicly, Elon Musk sacked him. Then went, there's been a mistake, hold on. Once someone told him, you can't do this, because I think you'd have to pay out 100 million or something to him, right? But it turns out, who is this guy from Iceland? He got this huge amount of money, paid all his taxes, and he pays loads of things for children's funds and everything. He's a bit of a fucking national hero.
Okay, interesting.
Because he pays his taxes. As simple as that. He's incredibly wealthy, but he invests in his own country and everything.
As long as you don't Scrooge McDuck it.
So that's the problem. It's
a billionaire. All a billionaire does is maintain the billions. You don't do anything else.
We've said this before, but when people say money doesn't make you happy, that's nonsense.
That's a lie.
What the term is, accumulation of wealth doesn't make you happy.
Yeah.
If you can pay your bills, you're happy.
There's a guy that was on Radio 4 this morning.
Yeah.
And he's some IT dude. Some Facebook. One of these guys that sold up early and fucking
Oh, yeah.
But his obsession is reversing the clock of aging.
Oh, I've seen him.
So he takes like 45 pills
He
a
looks
day.
terrible.
He gets up at 4 o'clock every morning. He's like, I thought, God, is it you? He has his first breakfast at 6,
Yeah.
and he's his second and last meal of the day at 11. And he thinks he's rejuvenating himself. He looks fucking. He's
looks
45.
ancient.
He looks like an old man.
He looks like an old man. He's dyeing his hair. Part of the rejuvenation process, he thinks, is dyeing it chestnut brown.
That doesn't make you look
It's
younger.
terrible. Just age.
Just
Everyone
age.
just age.
It's just your genetics. Chris Packham was on the TV the other day. I thought Chris Packham's looking well. Wonder how old Chris Packham is. He's 62
Yes,
years old.
I know.
He looks fucking 50, man.
Yeah.
A good 50.
Why? He's just aging.
Just natural.
He's just aging.
Yeah.
And I saw the most terrible thing the other day, and it was about Keanu Reeves' partner.
Yeah, or they're slagging her because they don't consider her good looking enough.
She's beautiful. She's
That's
smart.
fucking weird.
She has everything you could possibly want
Yeah,
in a partner,
yeah.
and she's getting attacked because she's not fucking 22 with big
Yeah.
tits.
Weird.
It's disgusting.
Says a lot about fucking Keanu Reeves, that.
It
actually.
does. It does.
Because he could be banging 18-year-olds.
Yeah,
like,
but not
like, what's his name?
interested. Oh, fucking DiCaprio.
DiCaprio.
Stop it, man.
DiCaprio, his last girlfriend, he'd known her since she was 11. He's not dating her from 11.
Yeah, but
he'd known her as a little child.
You
and-
shouldn't know someone.
No.
If you'd known someone, I knew you when you were 11, in your head they're always,
That's why.
Oh.
That's why school teachers are not allowed to date like former pupils.
no, you don't.
Ken,
What
even
the
if their
fuck?
age, it's like what?
Yeah, no, don't go down that route.
Ugh.
So strange, no, but the
That's
disgusting
why
attitude.
people. I always used to think that about Brian May because he was married to Anita Dobson. That's
Ugh.
all I'm saying.
But hold on, she looks exactly like him.
Identical.
Can't tell the difference.
No,
Can't tell the
likes
difference.
making love to himself.
The only way they can tell them apart is counting their ribs.
What with a xylophone? What? Who's the lineup for the coronation? I think Dirtbag Take That are doing it because they'll be.
Oh,
wanting a
they'll be
knighthood.
doing it. Who else will be doing it?
Some
There's always
shit.
someone
Some
wanting their
trash.
some.
Have you seen that advert for the cat food that's got fucking Robbie Williams in it?
No, I
He's
don't see
advertising-
TV, but
He's advertising Felix. Can that cartoon
Oh
cat?
dear.
He's dead, and then Felix appears and they go on stage together. Honest to fuck.
He has the face and the build that he should be playing a dame in pantomime. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
He's like Hinge and Bracket.
Yes,
He is.
Hinge and
His
Bracket.
hair's like Buffon.
Hinge and Bracket. When you said that there, I ran cold.
Awful, aren't they?
Well, no, something happened.
What?
I'm not going to go into
Did
details.
you meet Hinge
but
and
I was
Bracket?
at. There was
You
this
didn't
wedding.
perform as
No,
Hinge
there was
and
this
Bracket.
wedding, and it was lesbians. And
Oh my.
they got away. They went away to get changed into yet another outfit change.
Oh no.
They come round the corner, and we're sitting, and I went, and as I spoke, silence fell
Oh,
because
no,
everyone
what?
saw the way. And here's Hinge and Bracket,
Oh dear.
and oh my god, people just turned and looked at me. and
Our
I-
listeners will not know who Hinge and Bracket were. Hinge and Bracket looked like. Did they not learn their trade? Were they not captured by the Germans? And it was a routine they did in the
routine
prison
war.
camp.
Yeah,
I think it might have been.
yeah.
But they were just
They
like.
kept at it.
they
Bless
kept-
them.
Remember Danny LaRue?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For fucking, he had a career for a
No.
long. Did he not make a film where he fucking tried to kill Hitler?
There was a lot of that in this country. A bit of revisionism. But
Danny LaRue.
now, what's been happening in America at the moment? Everyone's going mad about drag. And what all that is, that's a tool
Yeah.
for political.
Yeah.
Pick on something. Pick on, that's all it is. It's a tool. But you have to understand, drag in this country is predominantly made for children.
Yeah.
Pantomimes.
Pantomime drag, yeah.
Hinge and Bracket was on Pebble Mill at 1 every day. That was the only entertainment I
Pebble
had.
Mill.
Was two men dressed as women from the 30s
Yes.
singing
with a
terrible
piano.
songs with a piano.
Oh,
That was my entertainment. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. I loved it.
Well, the thing is, if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race,
Yeah.
British drag is like ridiculous fat lasses. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's more kind of body.
Yeah.
Whereas
yeah,
I think American drag's more the glam. More
yeah,
vogue.
they have the
You
glam. they're
vogue.
what- Yeah,
You
but
vogue.
here it's always been on the side of comedy and
Yeah, well, Lily Savage. I mean, that was the last big drag star on the television.
but Lily, the character, was like a
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just a part of the
Pretty
culture.
Pretty funny, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
part of the culture.
Healthy.
And
Healthy.
yeah.
Would
and-
you say working class?
Oh
Those-
yeah, very
No,
much
but the
so.
whole, maybe the drag thing was more working class in this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not like, yeah.
But the drag thing is predominantly for children,
yeah.
and nothing happens.
No,
people,
it's not.
it's fine.
It's not sexy drag.
No.
It's just kind of silly, outrageous drag. Folk love a drag act in this country.
I don't know why. It's just very popular.
If you were to go to some of the static caravan places, if you go to Butlins in
That's
Scotland,
all you get.
drag
acts.
Drag acts.
There's
yeah.
nothing else.
No.
If you go to Butlins, if you go to a wee caravan park, they put on their own shows.
Yeah.
Drag acts.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. You don't get anything. I've never seen an act that doesn't have
It's
drag
nothing
in
else,
it.
Nothing else.
To
Yeah.
be fair, I used to wear a dress on stage.
Well, I can imagine.
I did. I had long pigtails. I had my para boots that were spray painted like King. Remember Love and Pride?
That's a
Uh,
that's the worst song ever.
Watch your fucking
What's that
language?
cunt doing now?
Well, he was on MTV for years. I think he's all producing in that. I think he's behind
Is
the
he?
scenes.
I bet he's got grey hair.
I
now.
think
Bet
he's-
distinguished.
Oh,
looking.
I bet. Oh, handsome guy.
What a ridiculous haircut.
And he would do Love and Pride, but what he done in that video, people remember the hair.
The
They remember the
ridiculous-
boots, which were fantastic, colourful, spray painted Doc Martens. You know what? I'm going to get a pair now. I'm going to do it. But what people forget about that video is he would go, Love and Pride. And he would air grab. But it was an air grab into his heart. And he stole my heart and he put it in his.
Ah,
Now that was a drag act.
I preferred the guy from ABC.
Oh, because he had his suit. No, Paul King didn't have his suit. He was a bit Mad Maxy, a bit more dangerous.
What happened to Zig Zig Sputnik? Are they still with us?
I think I think they were touring, and about 2000 they were
Imagine
still touring.
those guys.
But they're all
overweight.
fat and old,
Oh!
and it's huge pink wigs now. You know, digga 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 digga. That was every tune
US
they done.
bombs.
Digga 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 digga
US
digga.
bombs. Fucking-
Terrible, terrible band.
Oh,
How they even existed, but that's the way it goes. You just never know.
music shite.
But no, Paul King. I bet he is. I bet he's got a good tan. He lives in Spain.
Does he?
I don't know. I
Oh,
just
I
assume.
would hope so.
I want to live his
hope so.
life, the dream.
Paul King.
I want to grow in some hair that's white. I bet it's like it's all done every day. Perfect. Oh, he's a perfect man.
Would you take 42 pills a day to make yourself look exactly the same? But he's
I
got
have a lot of broccoli.
But he's got a contract where it says he'll try anything. He won't sue anybody. So if they say to him, here's some monkey placenta,
That's dangerous.
here's some powderized
But
diamonds. to
I
put in.
have seen him, and 2 years ago he's just a normal guy.
Yeah.
Now he looks like a doll,
Oh.
but a scary doll.
Well, it's like
And his
a-
body's weird because he works out in the weird way. So it looks like he's got a coat hanger under his skin. He's a strange looking
Well,
guy.
it's that lassie, the daughter of the guy from Porridge, Kate Suchins, Beaconsdale.
Oh yeah,
she
yeah,
puts
yeah.
foreskin juice on her, her
Yeah, but she
face.
takes it directly from source here. Yeah, good for her. Good for her.
She's getting on a bit weird.
The thing is,
It's a
she is.
brutal-
Well, she's
Hollywood-
an unfeasibly beautiful
Well,
woman.
no, now she looks fucking nuts.
But what happens if
The
you
surgery.
chase that?
The surgery's not
It
good.
can't- this
Simon
fucking cheek
Ca-
one's doing it.
Simon, the buccal flat.
Oh, everyone's
buccal
getting it.
fat.
But they're saying to you, don't get it
No, it's
because
off. It's off.
when you get old, it's going to look really bad, and you're going to have to get.
No, they put the
plugged
buccal
up.
fat back in again.
Don't do it. You look terrible. Don't do it. Not good.
No, it's
I'm
wild.
going. That's what I'm going. I've got naturally very
Well,
good cheeks.
Simon Cowell's claiming he's not had plastic surgery. It's just a touch of Botox. A touch.
Oh, now see, this is the
A
bullshit.
touch.
What's that terrible woman comedian that wrote Two Girls in a Cup? What's she called?
No idea. We're not good with names.
She's
today.
not good. But it's the age. It's the age. She's always on Joe Rogan's show and
Okay.
she has her own. Do you know who I mean?
I
Long
think so.
dark hair.
Yeah,
Can't remember. Everyone will be screaming at us right now.
I
forget
guess.
her name. Oh, the last she was on The Flagrant with Andrew Schultz,
Right, okay.
and he just attacks her.
Oh.
Just the other week, beginning to end, he's fucking.
He likes a cigar as well.
He likes the art, but he is fucking putting her in her place. But in a, no, I'm speaking. Let me finish my sentence. That's how it works here, and all this shit. And she's going, whoa. And I thought at first that's joking. It didn't
Oh.
come across as joking.
Brutal. But they're all.
Oh,
on each
Whitney
other.
Cummings.
Whitney, that's an unfortunate name.
Whitney Cummings. She says, I've never had surgery. Just Botox and fillers and stuff like that. Never had surgery. You're like, well, no, hold on. It's still surgery. I think they now define it. You've got to get a
A
cut,
knife. There's a knife. The knife.
That's surgery.
Oh, I see.
but you're still getting work done.
But a lot of that stuff.
She's got fake
the
tits,
old-
which that's fine,
they've
but
never had surgery.
never had surgery.
The old fashioned facelifts, like Gary Cooper famously had it done.
Yeah.
But they would just like cut a flap of skin from behind your lugs
Just
and just tighten
pull
the
it.
skin.
Oh, do you
Oh,
remember
the early facelifts.
but people, they get a facelift when they're 80.
Yeah.
And I was travelling through Branson, Missouri, and I wanted to stop to see this show.
Right.
And it was Petula Clark
Oh my
and
God.
Kenny Rogers
Oh, those two.
on stage together.
Kenny Rogers' beard was behind his lugs.
He was upside down.
It's awful.
They'd pulled his chin over his face. It was
looked
completely
awful.
smooth.
The worst one was him from fucking Die Hard, the villain. He got his eyes done and he was dead a year after. He didn't even
Oh,
get his money's
God.
worth.
No, that's
Don't
not an
get it done.
investment.
Don't get surgery, man.
You don't look better.
You do not.
Just
You do not.
get old.
Madonna
it's fine.
seemingly downsizing her face.
You can't downsize
She's
that.
got to reduce it down.
She's had 2 kneecaps installed
she's-
in her cheeks.
She's the worst looking fucking
Oh, and
But
I hate
it-
to say that.
thing. People
but-
people have criticised and they're saying, "Oh, it's misogyny and ageism." You're like, no, it's not. She's just fucking awful.
You,
looking.
it looks.
I like Madonna, but
Yeah,
it's
I like
really
Madonna.
awful. It's awful. It's a bloody shame. There's that Christine woman that's married to some football player, Lampard. She's this
Okay.
Irish, lilty Irish girl.
Okay.
She used to do the one show. She
Oh,
was
sure.
she was in for Lorraine Kelly the other day. Her face is wild. It's like off-putting.
Oh my God.
You're like, what the fuck is going on?
It's okay to get old.
Just get old. You look better.
You look better.
You look better.
It's,
If you're a bonny bonny young person, you'll probably look like a bonny old person. A lot of ugly old fuckers like us, you can get more distinguished looking.
That's
Age
us.
can be a good thing. I looked fucking awful when I was young.
Yeah, we're getting
I'm
better
a-
by the second.
As ugly as I am, this is me peak.
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 Peak vor.
Peak.
It's not good, man.
Peak.
Your peaks. It's a low wave. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God, there's a photograph of me as a 15-year-old.
I can't
Jesus
imagine.
Christ. It looks like, I don't know
can't
what
imagine.
it looks like. It's hard to explain. It looks like, my teeth look like mid-werewolf change, like they're trying to jump out my head. I'm like, fucking hell.
Oh my goodness.
It's just came in the bones, kind of painful, the growing pains. Can you like you're like American Wolf in London, everyone's popping and you're getting bigger.
I
Awful.
have a picture of me in first year. You know when you get the school picture and they come round.
Oh,
Oops,
it's like
oops.
the Artful Dodger.
And I'm sitting there,
Uh-huh,
right?
Uh-huh.
And there was a stand and it fell and hit me in the head.
Uh-huh.
Because the photographer
as if-
bumped it.
just,
And he went, "Oh, right, sorry." And I'm like, "Oh." And I was like, and there's a picture of me, first year like this, eyes shut. That they didn't even take it again.
Jesus.
Film is expensive. So in my house, it's in the spare room because
Oh.
they don't keep it on.
No.
There's a picture, and I'm sitting, and I'm not going to show anyone because they'll ask it.
No.
But my eyes are closed
Oh.
because I was like, "Oh, that really hurt," and my hands are up, and that's my school picture. And then listen to this.
Oh.
I was at school with Susan. I don't remember her, but
No,
she
no.
remembers me because I was very distinctive. I used to cut my hair into a comb over,
Yes. Okay.
or I would have a green mohawk. So I would get on the
Jesus
school bus
Christ.
and I would wear sandals and this beautiful black kaftan with gold embroidery and mirrors in it, right? It was beautiful, man. It would keep you warm in winter, and I'd wear that all the time with a green mohawk. And it was coming up for the school picture,
Uh-huh.
and they said, "It's on Monday." Now, they knew I was off all the time, but I wanted to be in this picture because I made it very clear.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I came in on Monday and they went, "Oh, no, that was Friday." My own teachers
Fuck you.
lied to me
Oh, Jesus.
so I wouldn't be in the picture.
That's the kind of teachers we need now.
Yes. Yes. But they let me away with
You
it.
tried a wee manoeuvre
They didn't give a
and they
fuck.
outflanked you. That's like Stalingrad, essentially.
Well, that's exactly the same. And here's the thing with it. They tried with me. You've got to wear a school uniform. You got to do this. You got to do. And after a while, they just went, "That's him." They just left me to it.
no, you can't. You can't.
There was nothing. They
you-
just left me.
You can't fix what's already broken.
But this didn't start a sort of downward spiral of everyone dressing weird.
No.
Everyone liked their uniform. People, there was a
Well, I'm a big believer in school uniform.
so. Oh, yours was perfect.
No,
You love
no.
a tie.
an affordable school uniform, it equals all the kids.
I
and
agree with that.
I believe in school uniform.
Because no one had my
Because there's
kaftan.
poor kids and then there's rich kids, and kids. No, it shouldn't
Mhm.
be. Everyone should be the same.
I
equal,
agree. I think
treated
that's
equally.
true.
But school uniforms are too expensive now.
Yeah. Although I think you can get they do good deals in George and
Yeah,
everything.
but
isn't
still.
it? It's still. And when I was there,
And you should have your
You had a
school's
blazer.
name on it. So if you're getting fucking kicked to death by some kids, you
They'll
can
at
write
least
a
know.
description. When
the blazer was like wool, and it was a huge investment for a
Yeah.
family.
Okay.
But now you
Pl-
get them; they're like
Because kids
they're
grow.
cheap. They're
How
cheap
long
now.
does a blazer last you?
Oh
Fucking
well,
6 months?
no, that's nonsense. When I went to the Harrison first year, the sleeve of the blazer went down to my ankles because they
Ah.
knew I was growing into it.
Right.
So I got one for a kid that was 3 years older.
I was at school with a guy, I'm not going to say his name. He wore the same pair of trousers all the way through school. And just
That
before he
happens.
left, they were just there was
Yeah.
little material left. It was just
That was relatively common.
there was a
stuff like
poor
that.
kid I went to school with that just wore sand shoes all the time. Remember sand
Yeah,
shoes?
no, I had a
Yeah.
kid. Yeah, would
Yeah.
only wear sand shoes.
Yeah.
But
But
we
the-
used to get things like brogues,
A good brogue's good. Good
shoes,
for your feet.
leather shoes with holes in them.
Yeah.
So as soon as the snow hit, you were soaked through.
But that's a
That would toughen you up.
toughen you up.
And then stay pressed trousers, which when you come out the Harris, you'd had to run for the bus.
Uh-huh.
And if anyone was ahead of you, you'd see their trousers light up with the friction between the nylon
Oh, just
trousers.
the thought.
And it was
Just
a
the thought of getting
greeny.
your school
You'd
uniform.
see a greeny
Remember
flash.
first day back at school
at the
after
knees.
the holidays. Can
Oh,
you've
I
just been
hated it.
feral for the whole summer. You're just wearing jeans till there's nothing left. Then you had to put your fucking tie on.
Oh, a tie I hated. The shirt. That's it. I don't wear shirts and
I
ties.
don't
Hurt my
mind the
neck.
tie. I was at
Hate
a
it.
funeral recently and had a tie on. It didn't feel too bad. But wearing a tie every day would be appalling.
No, I don't like
Through
it.
the summer.
Hurts my neck.
I don't think people really wear ties now. I think.
You know what it was when I was a kid? I got psoriasis.
Okay.
And I got it on the neck.
On the neck.
And the shirt touching it.
Because they hanged you, didn't they? That was the.
That's what it
Back in
felt like.
medieval days, you got hanged for stealing some
There was one of my
turnips.
teachers when I was in primary. She would hit the kids. I was never hit by her. I was never.
No.
But it was other kids.
You were
and,
never there.
and one day she picked up a kid,
Mhm.
threw the kid against the wall.
Aye.
And it just set this fear off in me, and it got psoriasis. But I mean, you're talking primary 3 or 4, that young. But
Uh-huh.
she got done for it. She was away.
There was a teacher we had. I never had her because the year group was split into 2. So one had this is in the primary school. One had one teacher and one another.
Yeah.
And you remember there was a phase for the watches that told the time in all different countries and alarms. Can you
Yeah.
And one had went off in her class. So she grabbed the child, tore off the watch, put it on a table, and smashed it to bits with a chair.
Wild bunch. Wild bunch.
So there were some crazy people.
I was in secondary,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the teachers, he would hit kids,
Aye.
but he backhanded me and just gently got me across the side of the cheek,
Uh-huh.
right? But I kicked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking cunt. I was going to try and hit him and everything. So all calmed down.
Uh-huh.
The next week, one of my other teachers, this was all in the open, you know, because
Yeah.
I'd caused so much trouble,
Yeah.
came along. Can I have a word with you? So he got him, and both of them had to be separated. And he was going, you touch one of my laddies again, I'll fucking kill you.
Oh, there's no need.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. He was beaten. And now this teacher, I won't say his name, he was 5 foot.
Aye.
And he came along and they were
There is
knocking lumps out of
no-
each other.
There is no. If you hear people on the TV saying we need corporal punishment
Nope.
at school, don't be so fucking
Nope.
ridiculous. If you have to
Nope.
hit a kid to maintain order in the class, you've no business being a teacher.
I
You never were.
was still at the time of the belt
Aye.
when I went. And my first day at the Harris,
Aye.
they knew my second name, and I
'cause-
had cousins and that.
Oh.
So they said, this is just to give you a warning. I'd gone in, like, I don't know where I'm going, sat down. The first thing I got was the belt.
That's awful.
I got the belt, and it went on. You got the belt that often. I remember there was one week I got the belt 5 or 6 times. Now this is a grown men
Yeah.
with a leather strap
yeah.
hitting
Toes.
children.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know they've got an erection.
oh no.
you
it's-
know it.
I know.
So the belt hit me once,
Aye.
and as it hit me, I swear to God. Now this people think I exaggerate. I was set free.
Oh.
That's the way my mind felt. Suddenly, I became who I was. Do you know
Okay,
what I mean? It was
yeah.
like a moment of growth.
Yeah.
And I went, I'll never trust an adult again in my life. And I still don't. So when someone starts talking about equity, I just stab them.
Yeah.
But they hit me.
Imagine going into your job every day. What have you done today? Can it the dinner?
I was
table?
12.
Yeah.
And they hit me. And it hurt, right?
Uh.
And it hit me in here and it was
Uh.
bleeding. You know, when you
Yeah,
slap
yeah,
something and it just, the blood weeps through it. It doesn't cut. It just weeps. So my wrist is bleeding. My hand's bleeding. And I looked at it and I thought, that's this 12 years old.
Stigmata.
Listen to this. This is a small payment.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like I'd just punched the ticket and I'd become a different person. After that, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to anyone.
Yeah.
I was all right. I wasn't a bad kid, but at school,
Yeah.
they couldn't get me to do anything.
Yeah.
And I would even say to them, and what the fuck are you going to do, cunt? I would say it to their faces. I was a wee, meek, quiet kid until that last time I got the belt. But you know what happened after that?
They unleashed a lion, man.
I didn't get the belt again.
Oh, no. No point.
Because they realised this little cunt speaks back. He's going to say or do something.
Yeah.
They went after the weak.
Yes.
They went after the weak.
There was a kid in my school, the teacher hit them with a ruler and he spat them right out. He's a big farming lad. It was madness.
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 Oh, no, I'd been hit loads of times at school. But now that sounds bad if you saw the other kids the way they got hit.
Yeah.
They were way worse. They got it worse than I
hitting
did.
the kids, not to punish them, it's for the rest of the class.
The other kids got belted.
Oh, look at this.
I got it light.
Yeah.
They got belted.
No, it's just this horrible. Yeah, it's a weird way they brought kids up. The hard
belt
back,
across the head.
Yeah,
A leather belt.
The hard back
Wham.
to this period of time. What are you hitting anybody?
The
for?
funny thing is,
No, but you hit kids, but you didn't hit adults at their work.
that's right. I have often said to people, I went, did you grow up with physical abuse in your life? And they went, no. You leave it a minute. Then you talk about, did you get the belt at school? All the fucking time.
Yeah.
You don't even know you grew up with physical abuse. An adult beating the fuck out of you with a belt.
But here we go.
You didn't know.
If they went to teacher training school,
Yeah.
were they instructed how to use the belt?
Possibly.
They must have. No, think about it. I never thought about this before. They didn't just say on your first day at school, right, that's your teacher now, Jim. Hey, here's your belt. Just knock yourself out. Do what you want. They must have said.
Someone has to
there
show.
must have been a
here's how you hit a
methodology.
child.
There must have been a methodology.
We had one teacher. You'd go in the morning and you'd sit down. If his desk was clear, it was okay. If the belt was on it, someone was getting the belt. He decided before anything had happened, someone was getting the belt.
Maybe he's
And do you know why you used to get the belt?
Why?
If someone yawned.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
If someone yawned, you got the belt.
Fucking hell.
Now, people think, the belt was just a
no.
noise. It's just a noise to what? No, that's the people that would excuse it. I had blood coming through my wrist.
They got the cane as well.
I never
Scotland
had that.
Scotland
never saw
was
that.
all the belt, but the cane.
What the fuck?
Just the cane.
Hitting children.
Like if you look at documentaries about private, the one thing I can say about poshos, they got it a lot worse because they were staying there.
Oh God, there was
At least
no
we
escape.
could go home
We
at
could go
night.
home.
There was no escape.
And then I was too scared to tell mum and dad that I'd got the belt because I'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Right? I'd been in trouble at school, so I didn't tell them.
It's not.
But
a good
looking
thing
back
when
on
there's
it, if my
silence,
dad
yeah.
had known I'd been hit with a leather belt by an adult, he would have fucking murdered someone.
Yeah. No.
So it kind of worked out not saying anything.
Yeah. No.
But no, yeah, like you're saying, if someone had to use a belt to get control of a class, they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
I deal with kids all the time, and you can get some right little ruffians.
Of course you can.
Speak to them like fucking people.
Yeah.
Just say to them, don't cause a bother.
Yeah.
Chat to them like a human being. And if they think you're treating them like a human being, and they see you as a human being, it's less likely there's going to be bother. The minute you scream and shout at people and fucking, I don't know.
It's
Betty, I don't know how kids have to have some consequences, have to have punishment. I think you shouldn't have.
But not a stranger hitting you with a belt.
No, but kids shouldn't be allowed to. Teacher pals of mine, they've all got phones in their classes. That shouldn't be allowed.
I felt a switch go in my head with that violence.
Because I don't think you're allowed to.
And I'll tell you something. I was never the same again. Because if I was maybe taught without that violence, I might have stuck in at classes. I might have been interested. But it just went no. And it affects you in a terrible way. So my schooling was affected from first year onwards.
I told you.
It's terrible.
Told you my memory. We went to the grammar school first day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're along there. You're in your uniform. You don't quite know what to expect.
Yeah.
You're a wee bit nervous. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what the fuck's this? Because it's a big step up the size of the school. There's a lot of adults. There's a lot of big kids in that. And they said, all right, that's us gym class. Nobody had uniforms. Oh, you just get to do it in your pants.
Yeah.
So you're out doing it in your pants.
Don't get
come
that
back.
now a bit.
Oh, you'll need to have a shower. Communal shower. You're all in the shower together. No towels. You just have to use your jerseys. They made us. That's day one.
I think.
Imagine
and I'm
trying
gonna
that.
say
Imagine
something.
trying that shit now.
There was a lot of teachers that didn't have background checks done.
Oh, I can imagine that.
I'm just going to say that when we were young, there was a lot of teachers that shouldn't have
The thing
been
is,
there.
everybody, I work with kids, so all my jobs I do, you've got your checked. It's a thing, and
of
you're like
course.
that, and it's quite thorough. So they'll go back and contact your local, where you're born, local police station, in case you were like fucking doing shit when you're a youngster. It's true, and I remember at the time. So professionals, it's all done now.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember David Cameron said, "There's not enough volunteers going to school, doing after school clubs." You're like that. No. That's the last thing you want.
Yeah.
You don't want unchecked fucking
You want
volunteers.
as many
Professionals.
You know
want
what?
professional.
I go anywhere. I'm happy to pay for my, what's it called? The police check. It's got a name.
Yeah.
I'm happy to
They
pay
keep
for it.
changing the name.
I don't mind. You
Yeah.
can check into my past. I'm quite happy about that. But occasionally I hear people going, "Oh, that's a bit of nonsense." Really?
That's funny, that.
Is Is it?
Well, I was going to take this girls' gymnastics squad, but if you're going to be so intrusive, thank you very much, but goodbye.
It's fucking true. Check. I'll pay for it right now. I'm happy to. Jesus.
But the thing
God.
is, it's funny because like the British cycling team were dominant. Because the coaches were beasts.
Oh,
Not
right.
sexual beasts, but just bullying them.
Right.
And saying, you're getting fat. And they were just beasting them into being really hyper competitive. They were removed because of their bullying behaviour. The team's shite now.
Well, that's fine. I think
know.
if we lose, I'm happy to lose for that. We shouldn't abuse people.
It's monsters that
It's
because gymnastics. I think was saying that. I think the women's British gymnastics team are wonderful, and all the beasts are gone.
Well, that's
so
good.
it shows you can't do it without
100%.
because you imagine those Russian coaches back. Olga Kolba and all that
God.
back in the 70s and 80s.
They'll just run them over with a car.
They're all
and that's
giv-
motivation.
They were giving them blockers so they didn't have puberty and shit.
Well, they made them pregnant, then giving them an abortion, and that stopped them growing. It's fucking horrific stuff. Horrific stuff. Now, I had...
What were we going to be speaking about?
Well, it's 1 hour 7 minutes, and I had a plan, but I'm going to keep it for Friday. I'm going to keep it for Friday. Because, to be honest, when you come in, if we get talking, this is what happens. Then we start the show.
Yes.
This is exactly the way we talk.
This is what it is.
Nothing changes. Ladies and gentlemen, join us on Patreon. It's good. We've got Patreon back. Gilly has returned. Tried to get rid of him. I tried to block him. The pube. Tried to block him. Tried to ban him. But he's back.
We've been taking
glad to see
small
you, son.
sections of the pube, and we've been making
clearing my teeth with it.
A tincture. It's a cure-all.
Join us on Patreon for the full video versions of the. You know what it is. Come and join us. It's good. You'll have a good time.
Enjoy yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ta-ta. Ta-ta. I heard Susan get steal her sweeties.
I know. I could see it when the shutter went. Don't you take that off yet.
Oh, is it still going?
When the shutter went up,
I
saw you go. And you got distracted and stopped what you were talking about because you were thinking about sweeties.
I was visualising sweeties.
God, until next time, later.
Ta-ta, ta-ta.